What do the following companies have in common? In Cambodia, a sugar plantation hires child labour. In Papua New Guinea, a company illegally logged kilometres of pristine rainforest. And in Bangladesh, a company is responsible for a factory collapse that resulted in the death of 380 human beings. So, the commonality? They are all subsidiaries of, suppliers of, or directly funded by large Australian corporations listed on our stock exchange. And in most cases, investors and consumers have no knowledge of these events because companies don't have to report them. Like the fence in my slide, there's an information barrier. We only see the codes of ethics companies use to advertise their conduct offshore, not the breaches of those codes. Now, last April, the Panama Papers scandal gave us a glimpse over that fence and showed that Australian companies have been hiding their ownership of these offshore entities. You see, Australian laws don't apply to the offshore supply chains of Australian companies because of the doctrine of sovereignty, which gives every country the right to govern itself. Therefore, Australian companies offshore to countries with lower environmental, wage, labour, human rights, corruption and taxation standards. Because it's cheaper. Now, the purpose of my research is to increase transparency throughout that supply chain and bring down the fence. To do that, I analysed codes of ethics from Australia's top 100 listed companies to see what standards companies are currently holding themselves out as fulfilling. I then compare those to codes from America's top 100 companies, where codes are mandated. And after analysing the results, I make 3 recommendations. That Australia should mandate codes of ethics for its publicly listed companies, give them minimum content requirements, and require disclosure when companies act inconsistent with those codes. It's time that Australia demanded the disclosure of these offshore ethical activities, particularly when studies show that 70% of us are willing to pay more for a garment produced in a factory with higher wages and working standards. 90% of us are willing to boycott a company that's engaging in unethical business practices. And 153 billion Australian dollars is already invested in ethically branded funds. By increasing transparency, we put the power back in the hands of the people to punish or reward this conduct, to invest or divest, to purchase or boycott. And this has the potential to increase ethical standards across the globe. Thank you.